Yes, so yesterday we stopped at how can we actually find such a path? Is it even possible at all? That because we really have to try a system until the end to really know for sure. So today we continue to evaluate, is it true? Is it really true that we all our choices are personal inclination? But no, today we will explore that it doesn't have to be as blind as we think. So I will start with a new paragraph here. Faced with this new dilemma, we may think that we have reached a dead end and conclude that we have nothing to guide us but personal inclination, or if not, flip a coin. However, our selection need not be as blind and uninformed as we imagine, for we do have a guideline to help us, since spiritual paths are generally presented in the framework of a total teaching. We can evaluate the effectiveness of any particular path by investigating the teaching which expounds it. In making this investigation, we can look to 3 criteria as standards for evaluation. Okay, I will pass it to the next person to read. Any volunteer? Okay, Xinghui.
First, the teaching has to give a full and accurate picture of the range of suffering. If the picture of suffering it gives is incomplete or defective, then the path it sets forth will most likely be flawed, unable to yield a satisfactory solution. Just as an ailing patient needs a doctor who can make a full and correct diagnosis of his illness, so in seeking release from suffering, we need a teaching that presents a reliable account of our condition.
Okay, thanks, Xinghui. Would you like to nominate someone to read the next?
From my screen, I can see Choi Kwan.
Okay, Choi Kwan.
The second criterion calls for a correct analysis of the causes giving rise to suffering. The teaching cannot stop with a survey of the outward symptoms. It has to penetrate beneath the symptoms to the level of causes and to describe these causes accurately. If a teaching makes a faulty causal analysis, there is little likelihood that its treatment will succeed.
Thanks, Choi Kwan. Would you like to nominate the next one?
Tammy, please.
The third criterion pertains directly to the path itself. It stipulates that the path which the teachings offers has to remove sufferings at its source. This means it must provide a method to cut off suffering by eradicating its causes. If it fails to bring about this root level solution, its value is ultimately nil. The path it prescribes might help to remove symptoms and make us feel that all is well, but one afflicted with a fatal disease cannot afford to settle for cosmetic surgery when below the surface the cause of this malady continues to strive. To continue?
You can nominate someone else.
Oh, okay. Can we have Sister Doreen?
Okay, Doreen, would you like to read?
To sum up, we find three requirements for teaching, proposing to offer a true path to the end of suffering. First, it has to set forth a full and accurate picture of the range of suffering. Second, it must present a correct analysis of the causes of suffering. And third, it must give us the means to eradicate the causes of suffering.
Okay, thank you, Doreen. Would you like to nominate the next one?
G.
On-shade, is it?
G.
Oh, G. Okay. Sorry.
Sorry, I said Hoji is only fluent in Chinese.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
And
then
then
because
actually, you would like to do it?
Kim, would you like to read? Doreen nominated you. You're muted. Sorry, you're muted.
let me I'm on handphone, my screen is very small, so I have to adjust a little. Okay, start from the passage. This is not the place, right?
Yes.
Okay, this is not the place to evaluate the various spiritual disciplines in terms of this criteria. Our concern is only with the Dharma, the teaching of the Buddha, and with the solution this teaching offers to the problem of suffering. That the teaching should be relevant to this problem is evident from its very nature, for it is formulated not as a set of doctrines about the origin and end of things commanding belief, but as a message of deliverance from suffering, claiming to be verifiable in our own experience. Along with that message, that comes a method of practice, a way leading to the end of suffering. This is the Noble Eightfold Path, Arya Atang Gita Manga. The Eightfold Path stands at the very heart of the Buddha's teaching. It was the discovery of the path that gave the Buddha's own enlightenment a universal significance, and it elevated him from the status. Sorry, my screen is a bit too small. I've lost my elevated from the status of a wise and benevolent sage to that of a world teacher. To his own disciples, he was preeminently the arouser of the path unarisen before, the producer of the path not produced before, the declarer of the path not declared before, the knower of the path, the seer of the path. I can't see the screen, sorry, because that's okay. The seer of the path, guide along the path. What is this? M is Majjhima Nikaya 108.
Yes.
And he himself invites the seeker with the promise and challenge. You yourself must strive. The Buddhas are only teachers. The meditative ones who practice the path are released from the bonds of evil. Dhammapada verses 276. Thank you.
Very good. Thanks a lot, Kim. You have done well.
Okay.
Okay. The last one is just very short, so I'll just close it. To see the Noble Eightfold Path as a viable vehicle to liberation, we have to check it out against our three criteria. To look at the Buddha's account of the range of suffering, his analysis of its causes, and the program he offers as a remedy. Thank you very much. I think I just want to stop here for today, but we can still discuss. I want to stop it, the text at here, but we can discuss what we have read since we have 5 minutes left. So before I share, maybe any comments from any of you? Maybe I can invite Onchit to share some thoughts. What do you think?
Yeah, it just relates. So the fourth noble truth relates to the first three, that it must. Well, the basis is that the first three noble truths has to be the core factor linked to the presence of the fourth. So I think it just ties up the whole thing of that all of them are interrelated with one another. So that's what I have to say about this.
Okay, thanks for sharing. Okay, I think these three criteria, yeah, like Onchit mentioned, it links to the Four Noble Truths, but Bhikkhu Bodhi explained it in his own way. First and foremost, it will be explored much deeper below, but I feel like this is a pretty good brief introduction. Okay, the first one, we need to really have a full and accurate picture of the range of suffering. Just as if you go to a doctor needs to know what is wrong with you. Like, is it a stomach ache? Is it a diarrhea? Or is it like a headache? The doctor needs to be able to diagnose correctly. And if the doctor's diagnosis is wrong, how likely is it that the treatment is correct? If you have a diarrhea and you're given a Panadol, will it work? It's quite unlikely, right? Yeah, and the second criteria is to see the analysis. What are the causes that gives rise to the problem? Yeah. And we should not just stop with the outward symptoms. We have to really cut it off at the root, because if you still recall, we want the end of suffering finally and completely. Because if we only end the suffering like once and just for today, and it comes back again, then it does not solve the problem that we want to solve. Yeah, and the third one is the path itself, the program. Like, how effective is the path to remove suffering at its source, this line. Yeah, and if this path fail to move the root cause, we need a root level solution. If it fails, and then the value is ultimately nil. I really like this line. The path it prescribes might help to remove symptoms. Not the Noble Eightfold Path, but maybe others. Just make us feel good on the front, make us all feel that all is well. Let's say you have some protective entity in the sky, and then you rely your whole life for him. Yeah, you do really feel that you are protected, but still there is a underlying disease, a fatal disease. So we cannot just afford for cosmetic surgery when all our illnesses are inside. We have cancer, and then the doctor recommends, okay, you can have a cosmetic surgery so you will look nice and you will look well, and then you can wear wigs. Yeah, so no one knows you have a cancer. Yeah, but that doesn't really solve the problem, isn't it? Okay, that's what I like to say. It's just nice we end at 8. Before I wrap it up, any comments or any further thoughts? Any closing remarks? Okay, if not, then let's do the dedication. Please recite together with me. 愿消三障诸烦恼，愿得智慧真明了。普愿罪障悉消除，实是常行菩萨道。阿弥陀佛。Okay, so thanks everyone for participating. Have a good day ahead.
Thanks, Michelle. Bye, everybody. Take care.
Everyone.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, everybody. Bye.